And the other thing is the ultimate disrespect is when somebody takes what's yours. And this is our game, so that makes it personal. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
I need 60 minutes. 60 minutes to me. 60 minutes. No business, no mercy. Nothing but stop on the sun bubble. You got me. We're going to ring the bell. We're going to ring that championship bell. Motherfucking dog.
The orange ball is on Mitch Jeter's leg. Good snap, good hold, kick on its way, and the kick is good! Yes! Mitch Jeter, with 7 seconds left, gives the Irish a lead, 27-24. Notre Dame is on the precipice.
Notre Dame has won the Orange Bowl.
3rd and 16, Mahomes roll it out. Looking, firing, intercepted, picked up by Cooper DeJean, gets a block. DeJean is in, touchdown.
The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
Hello, everyone. Huddle Up Podcast, January the 13th, 2025. And we are glad to be back with you again as we make our way closer and closer to the end of this season. And with just a couple of weeks left in football, we have a couple of weeks left in our year. But make sure you're following along with us all the time by scanning the QR code, top right corner of the screen. That'll get you to our link tree. You can also get us at Huddle Up Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitter. Also on Instagram and Twitch as well. You can grab the Huddle Up merch over on our TeePublic store. You can get that link on the link tree as well. And I think there were some sales going on yesterday. I didn't check the store today, but regular sales over on the TeePublic store. So make sure you check that out and grab everything when you can. Yeah, we're still plugging away. I was thinking about this, Sean, that and I thought, maybe I shouldn't jinx ourselves, but haven't missed a show a week this year. I feel like every year for a while we've had to take a week off here or there for various reasons, but we've been doing good this year. Devin checking in with us. But, Sean, how we doing this week, man?
Doing all right. Yeah, what's up, Devin? Even Devin missed a week. He had a week, but he made sure when he missed a week, he hopped on to say, hey, I remember that. He hopped on and said, hey, I'm busy.
He did. He's good about that. He's
like, I got life going on, but you guys are still important. That means a lot, Devin. Always good to have people check in. But, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. After the Feeling Sunday evening, there was a part of me that was like not doing it, not talking about it. I was not. If we'd have been doing the show live Sunday night or Monday during the day, I probably would have just not. I didn't want to talk about football at all. Very hard to walk into a room full of 8th graders ready to just jump on your throat.
Yeah, that's
when you're like, I don't want to talk about football.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah, the bad news is there was a couple kids just wouldn't let it go. The good news is I know which 3 are failing science for the year. So that's great. He's like, how was that Niners game? Like, I don't know. How's your science grade? How's that going?
See, that's a good life lesson. You learn the people that you mess with, and you learn the ones that you don't.
He poked a bear and got attacked. It happens.
That's a life lesson. Well, it happens. One day they'll remember. I shouldn't have done that. EJ may be crashing the party a little bit later. Haven't seen him in a little while.
Yeah.
But, we will see if he joins us. But tough weekend for you. Tough weekend. Well, depending how you feel about the football teams in the Keystone State, I thought it was a great weekend for football.
I'm sure you did.
State. The only shit thing is, I was telling coworkers about it, is the crappy thing about the Niners-Eagles game is it was going to be great and terrible for me either way because I hate both of them.
That's always the worst.
So like it didn't matter. I didn't watch it. I'll be fully honest. I didn't watch a ton of football this weekend, but like I caught like the very end and I'm like, okay, cool. So at least there's not going to be a repeater. And knowing the 49ers are like on life support at this point, like I feel like Seattle should just finish the job. Well, we'll obviously touch on those games in a while, but I'm like, once the Niners are gone, once the Steelers are gone, I'm like, I will be fine however the NFL season plays out. And that's been an odd place. I haven't been in that place for a while because like the Chiefs have been around and the Eagles have been around. And so I'm okay. After this weekend, I think I'll be okay. But
it's going to be weird. There's going to be a lot of weird teams in the mix.
Yeah, it's already weird. We'll talk about that field in a little bit, Sean, but why don't we go ahead and dive right in. As we do each and every week, we look back at the week that was in the world of sports and in football, and we look at the best things from the past 7 days. Sean, what was the best of the week this past week for you?
Well, it was bizarre because you had some teams that I don't know were projected to or should have won, and you'd think there might be a finalist there. And you had some teams that were supposed to win and did what they were supposed to do. And I just found a hard time finding it. But I mean, to be honest, as far as my honorable mention this week, the close runner-up and probably the best football surprise for me of the week was the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to throw them into the hat because the Carolina Panthers, we did nothing but make fun of them, and rightfully so. You have a team that's under 500.
And rightly so.
But they showed that sometimes when you have a rough start to the year and you're in a battle for a division, that it's always that argument of like, I'm very adamant that teams under 500 shouldn't have a shot at a championship, but that's kind of a personal opinion. But they sort of swung me the other way where they're a division winner. You got the home game, and you know what? They put on an effort, and it's not just because of the final score. They found themselves down 14-0 early in the second quarter and just hung in there. And Bryce Young started slinging it, and I mean, they put themselves in an opportunity to win that game twice. I think they can hang their hat on that, and Lord knows what will happen going into next year with that division. But that's not too bad. But I think the real best of the week and kind of the winner of the weekend was the viewers. I feel like the lineup in general, the product that was put on television, and when you look at the scores, the two night games, Sunday night and Monday night, don't look great on the scoreboard, but they were still competitive into the fourth quarter. Whether it was sloppy football, defensive football, whatever the case, the matchups all gave viewers something to watch for 4 quarters because there's no other games to flip to. So if the game's lopsided and boring,
you're stuck.
You're stuck, right? So, whether you were
is ESPN 8 the Ocho on? Is that
right? You're trying to find something, and you didn't really have to. you didn't have to, and if you were watching football this weekend, at least you got a good show really for like 3 days. So, not too shabby, hats off to all the teams that played. No team showed that they didn't belong there, minus maybe Pittsburgh, but I think the Texans defense may have had something to do with that. And but either way, that's my best of the week was the TV product and the quality of games were there.
Yeah, honestly, that was going to be my honorable mention is for years we've been told Super Wild Card Weekend. Now the NFL doesn't like lean into the Super as much anymore, right. and again, rightly so, because it has
rightly so.
It hasn't been that, but this weekend we actually did get that, and you credit to the Panthers. We all sat here and joked about that game, about how ugly it was going to be, and I think we mockingly were like, "Oh, what if the Panthers just fuck around and find a way to win?" And then we're like sitting there on Saturday going, "Okay, maybe they will. Maybe they will."
When Bryce Young made that fourth quarter throw, I was like, he just made $300 million.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. You have a young
And then
head
on the
coach,
next drive, I was like, maybe he didn't.
maybe not. Young head coach, young roster there, a lot of youth in Carolina, and now obviously with the coaching job open in Atlanta, and if a John Harbaugh ends up there, that may change the dynamic of that division a little bit. But depending who ends up there, I mean, Todd Bowles being brought back in Tampa, surprisingly, I think, and depending what happens with Atlanta, I mean, you have an opportunity for Carolina to build on a year of success, and
well, and Atlanta, even if it is a Harbaugh, if we just go with best case scenario for them, like there's talent there, right? But there's a ton of holes, and there's no way Harbaugh doesn't come in, or whoever gets that job, and do some gutting. Like there's going to be guys that are gone, guys that are like, we don't want this guy, it doesn't fit our system, we're going to redo the defense. So the thought of them just like immediately challenging. Now it is the division to do that. If you're going to just flip the script a little bit and do well, but yeah, I think for Carolina, things have to be looking up, with the exception of how well New Orleans played down the stretch, and maybe they're turning into something. But yeah, I mean, good for them. I guess they'll be the front runners, I would think, going into the season, to assuming nothing major happens.
Right, you would imagine. Devin is his best of the week. Mike McDaniel's no longer the head coach of the Dolphins, and they get to rebuild again. Yeah, Devin's been.
I thought of Devin immediately upon reading the headline. Devin's been begging the sports
please,
God.
Please, Lord. But mine, Sean, and it's certainly been kind of the social media discussion point for a couple of days, or one of them is the press conference exchange between Lynn Jones and Liam Cohen in Jacksonville after the loss on Saturday. And look, I understand both sides of the argument. There's a lot of people who kind of take this hard reporter stance. And look, I've never been in that room. I'll be 100% honest. As much as I've I know sports journalists, I know people who write, and I respect their opinion. I've never been in that room, but and I've seen a lot of people like side with the reporters of, this isn't the time or place to do that. You can pull a coach aside and say that personally, but it's like, you know what, in a world, a climate, an environment, be it sports or otherwise, where the media and the noise and everything is negative, and coach, how'd you fail this fourth down? Coach, how'd you do this? Coach, if you could have done it differently, how could you do this? And there's plenty of time for X's and Oing, but sometimes it's like, you know what? You came into a really tough situation and you had a hell of a year and you did really good, and you should be proud of yourself. I don't personally, and again, never been in the room, but personally, I have no issue. I have absolutely no issue with a person being a human to another human in a moment. They have their time. That's what they use their time for. I don't have an issue with that. I've seen that in minor league situations. I thought it was refreshing to see on a major sports level.
Yeah, and I guess it just didn't dawn on me. And obviously, like you said, I can see why you would be upset, right? Or be like, well, that's weird. It is weird. It's out of place. But I think a lot of that has to do, and being someone who follows Philly media, or at least did much more. I mean, it's one thing that's mildly refreshing about not living in town. Is in Philadelphia, especially, and in other markets, it's that constant need to find like a nerve, like where, like what went wrong, like you said, what went wrong, what's not going right, who's to blame. Like especially in a losing effort, there's always this need to find out what went wrong, and sometimes nothing went wrong, right? Or very little, and you're a team that maybe was out of place, is inexperienced, was out coached, outplayed, and you can still hang your hat on we stuck it to them. We didn't go away, like I talked about with the Panthers, a losing effort. Great job, guys. Like you you were playing way above your pay grade, and that's something to be commended. And I was listening to ESPN radio either yesterday, it must have been yesterday, and one of they were talking about it, and the one guy who was very in favor of what she did reminded me of it was years ago, and I don't remember the coach, and I don't remember the exact stat, but the New York Knicks lost a playoff series at home, and it was a year where they were playing above their pay grade. They were like an underdog in the series, and when the coach walked into the post-game interview, the media gave him a standing ovation. And I remembered that as soon as he said it, I was like, I do remember that. And it was like, and no one had a problem with it.
Right.
Like it was like this guy but in the NFL where you get him once a week, you get him for part of a year, you don't get to see him a lot. It's always this like, man, we didn't win. Like somebody sucks. Right. And
Right.
I mean, to be honest, like you said, in a world of sports and otherwise where that need to find the nerve and that need to blame somebody is so rampant and is the headline and is what people are searching for, I thought it was refreshing. It wasn't done in poor taste.
No.
I think it was a human being recognizing the stress that must be on another human being and just letting him know that, like, look, we're going to cover this thing, but we've covered you the whole way, and we're going to keep covering you because you're doing a good job. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, we're always going to be friends. It was like, you can be proud of what you've done. And I think that was a good message to give someone in that coach's shoes.
Yeah. It really was. And again, I don't think this, I don't think this is something that you should see every week. I don't think you need to, welcome a coach in from a tough loss in week 2 and tell them how great they are and how they can hold their hang up. But I mean, Jacksonville, by all accounts, probably did overachieve. And there was points earlier this season.
Oh, they were not in anyone's discussion.
No, like
playoffs or otherwise. Yeah.
There was points early in this year where we were having the discussion like, man, Trevor Lawrence is just never going to be that dude. And like, maybe this Cohen guy is like in over his head a little bit, or it's going to take a while. And like, they just started clicking. And yes, like the downfall of the Colts kind of helped them, and the division being down kind of helped them. But it's not like they were scraping by. Like, this Jacksonville team was beating teams up. They were dominating teams, and they ran into a team that has been a bit battle tested in the postseason, right? And you lost, and it was a tough game. And yeah, it's okay to be like, hey, we had a hell of a year. We can come back better next year. Like it really. I
mean, you won a division that contains the number 1 defense in football, a defense that everybody currently in the playoffs is horrified of. And you bested them over 17 games. I mean, that says something,
right?
And they weren't healthy. They were down receivers at points. They were down running backs at points. They were down defensive players at points. Like, they had their share of guys getting knocked around, and they persevered, and that's, I mean, what else do you want from a team, especially a team that had no business being there, at least from what everyone was saying early in the year. Like, that is something to hang a hat on. Now, if you're the Eagle, you're defending champions, and you walk out of a home loss, like it's a there was no way.
Nobody needs to tell Sirianni how good of a job he did.
No one.
Trust me, my YouTube algorithm popped up the WIP feed on Monday morning.
Right. And if the script was flipped, if the Jaguars had come back, I would have expected any of the Buffalo media to tell Sean McDermott what a great job he did, because it's a different situation, right? It's a team that's close and isn't getting there, and those teams aren't going to get it. But yeah, props to Jacksonville and to Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely. Devin, real quick before we get in, move along. He asked, "What's our opinion about the kids hockey game in the intermission of the Hershey Bears?" If you have not seen the video of this, from I think it was Saturday night. Yeah, there was a fight. They do like the intermission games.
No, they're always fun. I always love them.
Yeah, there was a fight during the one on Saturday night in Hershey. It ended up on all sorts of sports media across the board.
That's for sure.
I think it's actually the Lancaster League, and now the league is kind of looking into whether like the coaches told him, like the minute I saw it, I thought it was like,
they don't play for long,
funny and innocent. And then I was like, maybe like the coaches did tell him to do it. I certainly don't think we need to see that every time there's a little.
Oh, I started typing Hershey, and the first thing is Hershey Bears kids fight. That's gotta be.
But you know what? Like, I don't think anybody got hurt. Probably just don't. Coaches probably shouldn't encourage the kids to do that.
Oh.
But otherwise, I think it's fairly innocent.
I don't know. Kid took a good charge at another kid.
Yeah,
This is like all folks involved.
Yeah, it got a little heated. It got a little heated.
That's pretty,
Yeah,
I mean,
probably just like shouldn't encourage your kids to.
if the coaches encouraged it, or if it was like, I don't know if it's better if it was staged or better if it wasn't. Was it like it immediately started and then they were like, we're fighting? I don't know. It didn't look like anything triggered it. So
yeah,
I don't know. What are you trying to draw attention to? I guess, but whatever. Hockey's hockey, and the kids. It's a
old
little
time hockey, man. It's like,
to me, it's disappointing because I think like the appeal of that is watching kids play hockey. So like that would be my only real negative, like why I would lean negative.
And the only fear is now like, do you start to get like the copycats, and if you do, these games probably.
Well, and unfortunately, the stadiums that do this or the arenas that do it are going to have to like let teams know that, like, look, man, like not only are you going to not be invited back, but like they're going to have some kind of repercussion if something like that happens now, because that will happen because this made a group of kids famous. And so like you're going to have, like you said, so I think now, unfortunately, you're going to have to set a precedent of like, we're not going to put up with this. Like, this is not why you're here. Let's have fun and goof around.
Yeah. It has the potential to ruin the fun for everybody. But hopefully that doesn't.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it will in one shot. So
no, probably not. All right, Sean, but let's move on here as. We've been weeding through the season. Eventually you get to the point where you start to get to the end of things, and that's where we are in the world of college football.
Unreal.
The 4.5 month, I didn't calculate the days this year because unlike last year, not quite as invested. Surprise in the entire thing. But we are at the college football playoff national championship. At record time, we're 6 days away. Monday night, January the 19th, 7:30 Eastern time, ESPN network coverage. I'm sure every ESPN, I think last year. And if you're a fan of Indiana, if you're a fan of Miami, or you're just a fan of not listening to Kirk Herbstreit, I believe one of the feeds will have both the home and away, and it may even be an online feed, but the home and away radio feed. I took advantage.
I like that.
I took advantage of that last year. As much as it hurt watching Notre Dame lose, listening to Tony Simeone and Ryan Harris call the game as opposed to the honks on ESPN was much more enjoyable. So highly recommend that if you take in the game. But to the game itself, number 10 Miami, they are 13-2 on the season. They take on number 1 Indiana, who is 15-0. They're an 8.5 point favorite. 47.5 is your over under on this one. Sean, your thoughts?
Well, for the record, I'd like to let it be known that I think Miami should have to beat them twice. That's just in the interest of fairness, just throwing that out there.
I like that. I actually like that.
No losses. You take one and you're done. It's just, I guess that's the nature of the game, but doesn't seem right. Now, the good news is I don't think it's going to come to that. 8.5 is probably fair for this game, though I want to lean that Indiana will beat them by more. Miami has a ton of talent on the defensive line and in the defense in general. The defensive backfield is, but the trouble for them is Indiana can beat you a whole bunch of ways. They're creative. They're not afraid to, like, if things are getting hard, to try something different. But they can beat you with the running game if you'll let them. They can beat you with the passing game if they have to. And they're a way better defensive team than I think people give them credit for. And you don't get to 15-0 if you're not good on both sides of the ball. And they are tested. I mean, this isn't an Indiana team that like lucked their way in. I mean, even getting into the bracket, I think that they had obviously what the committee thought was a very tough SEC matchup in their first game. And we may disagree. And they get through Oregon, who I thought Oregon was going to give them a fight. And holy smokes. If they come out at that pace against Miami, the good news for Miami is it's not a long run.
It's going to be over quick.
The good news is they're right in town. They can just hop in an Uber back home. Don't have to worry about a flight. And that's going to be good for them because I think Indiana, while it's going to be closer than their last couple matchups, probably with the nerves and everything, 8.5 should be coverable for them. So I'm going to give them the cover on the 8.5, and at 48.5. 48.5 would rely on Indiana, I think, hanging up a bunch of points because I don't know that Miami's going to do it. I'm going to take a slight under in the national championship game. Defense wins championships, and I think both teams know that. I think it holds just under 48.5.
Nothing is over!
Yeah, man. Look, Miami, they've had – it feels weird to say, like with a few of the teams they played, but the easier road here. The Texas A&M and Ohio State and turned out to be easier wins than expected. And then you have a tight one with Ole Miss, and I don't know if that's Ole Miss was better or if the two teams were just tighter. But you look at what Indiana's done in this playoff and just dominating an Alabama team that didn't belong there. And look, I still stand on the fact they didn't belong, or if they did belong, they shouldn't have been 9. Oklahoma shouldn't have been 8. I mean,
to lose to Alabama and then watch Alabama get crushed in the next round is like, man, how bad are these two teams?
Like, so, I still feel there's a game there, and I'm not going to mention the team because I don't want to wake the trolls up. They've finally been getting some sleep. But like, there was a repeat of last year's opening round that was sitting there for the quarterfinal that I think would have been really, really fun. We didn't get it, and Indiana just dominated. But I thought that the game against Oregon was going to be close-ish. Like, Indiana's the better team. There was no denying that they were going to get there. But I thought there was going to be resistance, and there just wasn't. And I'm sitting here going, man, just give him the title. Just give him the title because it really is not going to be close. I really don't think so. I think Indiana dominates this game, pretty much from the jump. Miami's going to linger for a little while because of the battle in the trenches, but Indiana's going to take over. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, they're better, and they're going to win. I think they're going to win pretty easily. I think they end up covering the 8.5.
I think the only thing keeping that line at 8.5 is the fact that this is a home game for Miami.
Yeah,
I think on a neutral site that spread's probably 11.
Man, did you see? And I get they're playing a team that has to travel from Oregon, but like the freaking Georgia Dome or whatever the hell it's called, the Mercedes-Benz, it looked like a goddamn Georgia home game. Like it was red. It was all red.
And I would not be surprised if Indiana travels real well to this game because if you have a fan base of Indiana athletics, like, one, this has never happened. So if you've been putting money aside, now's the time. You'd like to think it'll continue on and on forever, but you never know. And you got to embrace it while you can. So I think there's a lot of folks in that Hoosier state that are selling second properties, taking out mortgages, whatever they have to do to get down here to Miami, take a vacation for a week,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been a long time since Miami's been here, so I don't want to take that away from them.
Oh, sure.
But it's been a hell of a lot longer for Indiana. And I think we probably get a slight over because I think there's going to come a point where Indiana just doesn't take their foot off the brakes because I don't think that's in Curt Cignetti's DNA.
Nor should it.
So I think we hit the over. but not by a lot. But we do hit it there in this one, and we'll talk about the game and the winner next week on the show for sure. But yeah, this, and we'll talk about looking back on our season predictions, which we got dramatically wrong. Yeah, Jason here to chirp. Sorry to change this out. Go Niners. Yeah. Well, Jason, stick around. You'll probably want to hear. Well, maybe actually
They may come up.
They may come up. You may not want to stick around. Actually, I don't know. Sucker for punishment, I suppose. But we will talk about them here coming up in a little bit. But Sean, it's transition in to talking about the NFL and the NFL playoffs. But before we do, I think the biggest news in the NFL world today, Mike Tomlin resigning, walking away, mutual parting of ways. I don't know how it's being talked about from the Pittsburgh Steelers after 19 seasons, 193, 114 and 2 in the regular season, 8-12 in the postseason, and haven't won a playoff game since since 2016, right?
Yeah, 2016. Since 2017, the Browns have more playoff wins than the
So there was a lot of noise around the Steelers, a lot of what's the future of him going to be, what's the future of Aaron Rodgers, but we don't need to talk about Sergeant Ayahuasca anymore at this point. But Sean, thoughts on Mike Tomlin stepping away?
I've seen some media going out on a real limb and saying that they think he may have been forced out. Like, no shit. Like a walk away doesn't happen in 24 hours, right? Like that would have been time to let it sit and think about it. And how do I really feel?
Well, no shit.
Right? Like, I mean, come on. Like, no kidding, right? Like, this wasn't if we lose, I think I'll take a break from football for a while. Like, no, one, he's way too competitive to just immediately be like, I'm not doing this, right? I think it's overdue. I mean, I've been on this podcast for a few years trying to defend the notion that the winning record is not something to hang a hat on, especially in a season with an odd number of games now. I just you get an extra chance to not be 500. And I get it. You still have to win that one odd game, but I mean, is 9-8 or even before 10-8? Is that really better than 9-9 or 8-8? Like, I just don't. I don't know. None of these are great seasons. Like, I don't really understand. What all the love was. And I get it. The guy's a good. Obviously, if you're competitive every year and you're going to the playoffs, that's something. But in a country that likes to hang their hat on Super Bowl trophies, I think he was long overdue. And in a city like Philadelphia with traditionally a much shorter leash, I don't think he'd have made it near this close. Unfortunately, I have already read two. One was just like a tweet, and another was potentially a story. I didn't click on the link because I don't trust that it's not fake. But that there's some people playing well, if this was a white coach, and I'm like, okay, look, let's be honest. There's been a lot of white coaches on a lot of shorter leashes than this guy's been on, right? I think the fact that
Marty Schottenheimer got fired after a 14-2 season,
right? And this is a long, drawn out, redundant process, and I think it has so much more to do with just kind of what we said with Harbaugh. Something's not working, right? Whether we're building the wrong team, we have the wrong mindset, it's in our heads, whatever the case is, we don't want to just keep getting here to not do anything, right? That's not what Pittsburgh football is about, and that's pretty much it. So, I mean, I think it's a win for Pittsburgh. It's going to set them back, I think, a skosh, depending who comes in, but and you still got a QB situation, obviously. So,
well, yeah, I think,
but it's probably good for Tomlin in the long run too. If he ends up in a different spot, maybe gets a chance to prove that it wasn't just a fluke or good ownership or whatever. Maybe that's good for him too.
I mean, here's the deal, man. Everybody I know everybody keeps bringing up the regular season record, and yeah, that's great. but you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, and as much as I hate it, you're the first franchise that ever got to 6 Super Bowls. Like, you're not a franchise that lives and breathes on just regular season success. You're not a franchise that lives and breathes on just making it to the playoffs. Like, you haven't been competitive in the AFC in a decade, man. You haven't been. It's been a decade since you made it to the AFC title game, and that was the only AFC title game you've made it to since the Super Bowl in 2010. It hasn't been successful. It's that today, the Steelers' last 5 playoff losses have all come by double digits. Guess how many teams in NFL history have that stat? How many
teams this weekend lost by double digits?
Right. But the Steelers are the only team in NFL history to lose 5 straight playoff matchups by double digits. That's the wrong side of history, my man. And look, for as good as that 62% in the regular season over 17 years or 19 years, in 19 years, you have a 40% winning percentage in the postseason. And you started 3-1, 5-2. In your first 3 playoff appearances, you went 5-2. Over the rest of them, you had 3 more wins. That's not playoff success. And I don't I'm not saying I've said for a while that it's probably overdue, and people have called me out on it. People have accused me of being crazy, whatever. The Steelers aren't a regular season success team. They're not.
Nope.
And they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. Steelers, Eagles, Packers, Cowboy, and I say that frustratingly as a Cowboys fan. The Cowboys shouldn't be a team that's okay, cool, we won 10 games this year. No, you should be pissed. That's why I hate Jerry so much, because you should be pissed that it's been 30 years. You should be pissed that every team in the NFC has made it to the NFC title game since the last time you were there. I'm more mad that the Cowboys aren't mad. And as a Steelers fan, I know Steelers fans have been mad. Today is a happy day for them. So to my friends that are Steelers fans, congratulations. For those that don't get it, I guess you never will.
The no losing season thing, if it was a bunch of great seasons and then your couple off years, you still managed to win, that's one thing, right? You didn't have a tank season entirely. Right. But the fact that it's just consistently is he gonna do it? Is he he won? And he's
Devin in the comments here says he wants Tomlin to stay away from Miami. First off, Devin, you should not be saying that. If you're a fan of a team that's looking for a head coach, you should want Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, why not?
Looking in your direction.
At least, from a Dolphin standpoint, 500 every year looks pretty good.
Right. What do you I don't understand. It's never having a losing season. I don't know what you're mad about. And Jason says he'll be a Giant
quarterback. This is that's the perfect spot for him now that I think about it.
Jason says he'll be the Giants or Packers coach next year. He will not. In fact, the Packers are not moving on from Matt LaFleur. So as crazy as that may be. And I don't think Mike Tomlin coaches next year. I think
he takes a year off.
Yeah, I think he takes a year off. Now, granted, if a team wants to open up a checkbook and write a blank check, certainly things can change. But
and that can happen. A couple big names go off the board, and you're down to another losing team's former coach. Mike.
Hey, Mike. All right, but Sean, let's take a look at the playoff picture. We will certainly pick the games here in a minute, but we know the Packers, Eagles, Panthers, Steelers, Jags, and Chargers eliminated from the postseason. We have our final 8 teams that are left. Since we spent a lot of time talking about Mike Tomlin, what was your biggest takeaway from anything you saw this weekend?
Well, I've kind of talked about the Panthers and maybe everybody against the bad division winner getting to host a playoff game. I think you got a pretty good argument from them for as to why that team should probably just have a home game. And it doesn't actually, it didn't affect anything. The other team still won, but they got to put on a show, and they almost got themselves through to see what they could do. Um, big takeaway right now is, with the exception of maybe that Bills game, but that was just a slugfest, is that defense still wins in the playoffs. A lot of these teams that moved on did it with defense. I know the Rams were giving up a ton, but when push came to shove on a final drive, the defense stood tall. Yeah, I mean, there's no huge surprises. Obviously, for me, the 49ers are. But the way it went down with an uninventive offense getting beaten by an offense that realized they were up against a insurmountable wall in a defense and were willing to get creative to find a way through it or past it. They drew up some exciting plays and some plays that make the defense change what they're doing and don't let the game plan come into play. And the Eagles just have been unable to do that all year. Yeah. And that's rather disappointing. So that would be a takeaway from that game, is like, yeah, Niners came in, they won. I don't, and Jason's going to think it's just me being a homer or whatever. I don't know that.
Good for you.
I'm not going to say the 49ers did nothing to win that game. I mean, obviously that defense was McCaffrey was non-existent for almost 3 full quarters. And they had to find a way to get him the ball, and they figured it out, right? They said, we got to get our best player the ball. If you'd have told me that George Kittle was going to be out of a game before halftime and we were still going to lose, I'd have probably laughed at you. But, it's one where, you're hearing the officiating being brought up, and I do think it was lopsided for a team with backups playing in both sides of the ball to have no real penalties for 4 quarters seems very unlikely.
I mean, I will say this again. I didn't watch the game, but statistically speaking, the 49ers are the lowest penalized team.
Yes, and
in the National Football League. The Eagles are one of the most.
Right.
So
because everyone hates us, obviously.
Of course, that's how.
Just flags come out. But there were some big ones. The Eagles trying to get out of it. Some first downs, had 3 or 4 of those called back on a penalty at crucial moments, and some of them were a little more ticky-tack than others. And so for me to be like, okay, well, that was not a very obvious penalty. You can't tell me there weren't any on the other side. So, but that's clearly not the reason we lost the game. So,
right.
But now they get a chance to prove whether they are better than the winner of the NFC West, and that should at least be a fun one. I think you get a bunch of pretty fun matchups here in the second round.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me when you look at both sides of this bracket so far is, for the most part, I think we still don't know a lot.
No.
The Patriots won a game, not taking anything away from them, but that was a broken Chargers team.
They did their attempt to continue breaking it.
They did. Jesus,
that was a lot.
The fact that Justin Herbert was able to walk into the post game press conference.
Oh my God! Like, that's your guy.
Like, yeah, man. Well, the offensive coordinator and offensive line coach fired today by the Chargers. So
I mean, it's like all I kept seeing was from Rocky, just throw in the towel, like,
yeah, it was awful.
He said not to,
But like, the Bills, the Bills stepped up in a big moment. The Texans beat a team that was basically listless and has the dying breaths of a broken old man at quarterback. The Bears, they've done what they've done all year. They're the cardiac kids. You can't count them out of a game. The Rams woke up when they needed to, but they beat a team that they should have beaten easily. And, the 49ers, they won a game against a team who's had problems all year. Like, so I don't think we know a lot differently than we knew going in. That's my biggest takeaway. And yeah, to your point about like the Eagles-Niners game, I think it was as much about what the Eagles haven't been all year than what the Niners are.
Right.
And especially without George Kittle. Spoiler alert, Jason's not going to like my prediction for Saturday. But yeah, I just, when you look at this field and you look at where we are, I feel like it's a lot of what we've known and we do know, and I don't think there was a lot to learn from opening weekend. And
Jimmy mentioned the Bears game, and I didn't really go into it because I spent a little extra time on my team, but I had a few things I wanted to say, and I didn't even say all of them. I held back. But in your honest opinion, I'm not going to say the Bears did nothing to win that game. Obviously, you have to get creative. You have to make plays in a very hard weather, cold weather game. It's not an easy thing to do. Do you feel like the end result of that game has more to do with the Bears sticking to it or the Packers just deflating mid-game?
I think it's a little of both. I mean, we've seen the Bears do this all year. Struggle in the first half, make adjustments at half with coaching. The adults are in the room now, and you come out and win a game. But we've also seen the Packers do this most of the year, where they get out early and they're undisciplined. And
that third quarter was embarrassing. I think like it's one thing if you never get it going, right? Chargers didn't have anything they could do, right? Like they, and even the Steelers, they hung in as much as they could with their defense, but like they couldn't do anything offensively. The Packers were. They got their starters back. You got healthy. Josh Jacobs looked as good in this game as he has all year. He looked fast. He looked quick. And like in the third quarter, the play calling went very, Philadelphia. It went very Philadelphia. It was very boring plays. It was
very
like,
Petulin.
let's do this in chunks. Let's go for 10 yards. And there was no semblance of attack. And I get it, defensive schemes adjust, but like this isn't your first day in the NFL. Like you also can adjust, right? And I thought that was pretty embarrassing. So I'm not going to say I thought it was the other way, where it is a bit of both. I thought it said more to me about the collapse of Green Bay than the rise of Chicago.
It's certainly a part.
But man, they came to it, man.
I'm not absolving Green Bay from the collapse, and it's why I'm shocked that not only are they keeping LaFleur,
right?
It sounds like, but they're like doubling down and extending him.
And it's a bigger deal because you are on the road against a divisional opponent, right? Like, so this is it's not just some, it's not like San Francisco way ahead and like letting their foot off the gas. You don't want to let a Philly crowd back in it if that's how that game would have gone. In Green Bay, Chicago, I mean, these fans hate each other. Like, so you in 2 quarters silenced every Chicago Bears fan in the world. They were not saying anything, right? And so to have completely silenced the Chicago faithful for 2 quarters, only to just go boring and kind of just go into like autopilot and watch them start tearing and then try to get it back. Was insane because now you're in a hostile environment and you could have just won this game in a bubble. Speaking of bubbles, I see another head on the screen.
EJ crashing through the wall.
There he is
safely.
What's going on, man?
We're in a seatbelt. No, I got my stuff done early tonight, so I was able to come and jump on with you guys a little bit.
Very nice.
Hi, Sean. Happy New Year, Sean.
Happy New Year, EJ.
Do you need a hug?
I could use one, but fortunately, you're not here, so I don't trust your hugs, EJ.
Well, at least Patulo's gone, right?
But much
that's
like
my hug.
There you go.
But much like with what I said in our huddle up group chat last night, like I wasn't encouraging the Steelers to get rid of Tomlin because I was like, look, if they want to keep bringing him back and keep not winning the Super Bowl, like I'm fine with that. I'm fine if Green Bay wants to keep bringing LaFleur back and making poor decisions in the postseason.
If you guys want to keep wasting a playoff spot,
like I'm great with that. Like the more the Packers lose, the better I feel in life. Like so that's kind of a general rule.
There you go.
EJ, real quick before we get into the predictions,
what
was your biggest takeaway from the opening round?
Fun. I mean, outside of last night's game, and I'll even say the Chargers game was good to the middle of the fourth quarter. It was so competitive. At least for the first time in many years, we actually had a walkover weekend that was very exciting. Most of these games went down to the wire. We almost had upsets. That Carolina game and against the Rams was certainly shocking, to say the least, the results and the way it played out. So if anything, the playoffs showed, it really magnified what kind of season we had this year. The fact that we've been saying all year long, it's a wide open season. The parity's humongous right now. And the playoffs showed that, because even teams that had no business being in the playoffs, like the Carolina Panthers, was literally a minute from winning that first round game. So yeah, that's what's taking with me. Nothing else.
Yeah, well, all 3 NFC games could have been either team could have had chances to win all 3 games, and with the exception of I don't think the Steelers ever I don't think they showed me any chance. They didn't have a chance to win that game, and obviously the Chargers were just getting eaten alive out there. But that Bills Jaguars game, man, that was the same thing. So yeah, we talked about that in the opening segment, that the best of the week was the product and what the viewers got. I thought that was the best of the week.
Absolutely. And the NFL is king. I mean, again, you see why this weekend. And I expect, honestly, divisional weekend more of the same.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and dive into divisional weekend. And 4 games. We start Saturday, 4:30 Eastern time on CBS. It is the 13-6 Buffalo Bills. They are a 1.5-point road favorite at the number 1 seed Denver Broncos, who are 14-3 on the year. Your over-under on this one is 46.5. EJ, we'll start with you.
Well, again, I still have a lot of mistrust with the Broncos. In fact, so you said Bills are favorite, right?
Yeah, 1.5.
So as of right now, that has Denver now a 1-point favorite. So it's going to go back and forth.
I checked it before, the same site that I use all year, and it hasn't moved since last night.
Right. Okay.
So.
Regardless, I mean, it's basically a pick 'em.
Right.
That's the bottom line. It's basically a pick 'em. And it comes down to me, like with the Broncos, like the 14-3. It's a great story. I'm not gonna knock them, but it comes down to me to Bo Nix. Like I have not gotten the complete Bo Nix experience. We've gotten, moments of Bo Nix. Got a quarter here or whatever, or one game every few weeks, whatever, but never the consistent Bo Nix. And look, I like Bo Nix. I think he's a good quarterback, and certainly a guy that can be really, really, really good in years to come. But until we get that, I'm not going to trust him. The thing is, the Buffalo Bills are very Josh Allen reliant, and Josh Allen got beat up on Sunday against Jacksonville, so he's not coming there 100% either. But it comes down to who I trust. Who do you trust? I trust Josh Allen, more than anything else. Now, what surprised me if the Broncos win this game? Absolutely not. But I think if this is a close game, Bills win. Broncos win will be in a blowout. I think it'll be mostly a close game. I trust Josh Allen company to get the job done. Give me the Bills.
All right, Sean.
I won't take anything away from the who do you trust. I think that's fair. But if there's one thing I've learned, even in the games this past weekend and historically, is when you're looking for something to trust in a defense. And I still don't think the Bills have one. I think that it's one of the most. It's probably the most suspect defense left, with the exception of maybe a banged up San Francisco. But even that's close. And I don't think there's any reason not to trust Josh Allen. I don't trust the other people around him. The Broncos will be rested. The Broncos will be well rehearsed. The Broncos will have some creative plays. I'm sure Sean Payton's been working on a lot with them. I think that this Josh Allen does have a tenure, and being a close game, I think it is going to be fairly close. But I think Josh Allen in those close games sometimes has a tendency to overthrow or to pretend he has a receiver that he doesn't. And unless Brandon Cooks returns to his form from 8 or 10 years ago, I don't see him having enough weapons because Cook's not going to be the guy. It's going to have to be Josh Allen against the Denver Broncos, and I don't think they have it. Give me the home seed. Give me the home team. Give me the defense. Give me the number 1 seed. I think that
the Denver Broncos.
This thing could move to Broncos by 3 or 4. I'm still going to take them. So I would like that. Did you have an over/under on it? My sheet doesn't have one. I think
46.5.
Oh, 46. Oh no. Under. Yeah.
That's
nothing is over.
That's the easy part. EJ, I did have a chuckle. You said that if it's a close game, It's definitely the Bills, right? Like you said that.
If the Broncos win this game, it'll be in a relative blowout.
I think. Did you mean that if the Bills win, it'll be close? Because that's a different statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, the Bills will be close, right? I trust Josh Allen in a close game.
But
So
you
Broncos
could
will be
see.
a blowout.
Okay, I think you
Yeah.
said the wrong thing, but you believe the other thing too. So it's
Just
fine.
because of the Broncos' 14 wins this year, 12 of them have been by 8 points or less.
Oh, I understand that.
Like they are a team that can win a tight game.
No,
which
I
will be
agree with you,
wild if it is that way.
Let's
But yeah,
see
I
the
do
way.
agree.
No, you're
that
right,
if
but-
it's going to be a blowout in either direction. It's Denver. I don't think.
What I'm
I don't think
baking in
Buffalo's
is
capable of winning by a blowout.
No, you're absolutely correct about that. I figure every single Denver Broncos game I've watched this year pretty much has been a close game. I'm baking in the Josh Allen effect though, because they've never faced Josh Allen this year at all. That's what I'm banking on, for Josh Allen to come through like it did this past week against Jacksonville to get the job done.
Right.
That's what I'm depending on.
Ultimately, look, yeah, I haven't believed in the Bills in a while. It's cool they found a way to get a win in Jacksonville, but I don't see it happening against this Broncos team. And again, taking nothing away from Liam Cohen and the job he did in Jacksonville. They say playing in the playoffs is different, coaching in the playoffs different. Sean Payton knows how to coach in the postseason, and I think he's going to put a game plan together to outlast whatever the Bills can do. So give me the Broncos to cover 1.5, no matter which way you're looking at it. But the under is definitely the play. Let's see, Devin has the Bills and the over. Then we move Saturday night, 8:00 Eastern time on Fox. It is the 13-5 San Francisco 49ers. They travel to the 14-3 Seattle Seahawks, a 7.5 point home favorite. You're over under 44.5. EJ.
I mean, what a story San Fran this year. Kyle Shanahan has a strong case to coach of the year. He really does. And what he did on Sunday against a very healthy Philly team, banged up coming into the game as is, then getting even more banged up during the game and still finding ways to beat the champs. I mean, I think there's a case to be made that not named Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan is probably his best coach in football. There's a case for that right now. Having said that, though, you're asking for a lot to go to Seattle. I know it's division rival, there's familiarity there. You're asking for a lot, though, with the match unit to face number 1 seed Seahawks, who are playing very good football for the record right now, who just beat them 2 weeks ago. Right. Look, would it surprise me if San Fran finds a way to win? Because that's what Shanahan does. He schemes up well and finds a way to win. But you're asking for a lot here. Look, I'm not comfortable taking the Seahawks to cover 7 points. That half point really stinks, and it's just looking at me like, that's the half points of what scares me. So I will take San Fran the points. Seattle wins the game. The bet of this game, though, easily is the under. 46. Did you just watch the game 2 weeks ago? They scored a combined, 19 points, 20 points?
Well, and you lost arguably the best
Yeah.
passing weapon that the Niners had.
Bingo. So the play here is the under, guys.
Sean, I think this is Dan in the comments. Just found a video that is 2 guys playing what I can only describe as Puss in Boots cornhole. I don't know what that means, but
where did that come from?
Good Lord, Dan.
What?
I don't know what your algorithm is
here at all.
But
Who's that?
it's a friend of Sean's and mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
a friend
I don't
of
know
mine
what
who.
that,
A friend of mine who years ago I coined the term. We helped coin the term Pappy Von Nappy as a nickname. So it's definitely.
Oh, okay.
but I don't
up,
know what
Dan?
that means. Sean, save us.
I don't know. I don't know how to come back from that. Speaking of cornholes, that's where EJ pulled a lot of those takes out on that segment.
Yep.
He stretched a lot there. I don't know if
Me too
you
well,
owe
man.
I don't know if you owe Shanahan money or what, but man, did you embellish a lot of that? I mean, I'm not going to take away. From
Well,
the fact the guy's done-
Sean, find
the
a
guy's done a lot with a little. You start telling me that he came in and beat my team. Okay, like my team helped him push through it. Like he's like, we're trying to climb the wall. My team's like, just get over. We're like, we don't want him to get over. It's just a hot mess. God, thank God he's gone.
Patuno.
Shit.
Niners, Seahawks.
I'll tell you one thing. I think a lot of what you said is right. I think I think the 49ers, would not be surprising if they make this more competitive than I can see it. However, this is a bully game, right? Seahawks have an opportunity to take the season series here. And I think they're probably still a little bitter about that week one wacky win that the Niners have. Let's not forget that their win over the Seahawks was in the week nobody should count. Look, the Seahawks are just healthier. They're one of the best defenses in the league. And as long as Sam Darnold doesn't throw this thing in the toilet, I don't see any reason why. Because unlike what the Eagles did, the Seahawks are going to try their best to make sure Sam Darnold doesn't. They're going to run first. You have a reinvigorated or just invigorated. I don't know if he had a chance to be but Zach Charbonnet looks healthy, looks fast, looks exciting, and he's everything Kenneth Walker isn't. And for years, they've just ignored him. Maybe this is the time. But either way, give me the Seahawks to cover 7.5. I think they're gonna ride this to about 10 points. And I'm going to take the over because I think they set this line because they want you to take the under because it's too obvious and because
do it, pussies.
And because the 49ers defense is beat up, and unlike the Philadelphia Eagles, the Seahawks will draw plays, and they do have.
Wow, that's true. They can score points.
They will score points on this beat-up defense. They will do it with the run game and the pass game and play action, and they will score most of the points en route to covering the over. Go Hawks, I guess. Are they the only birds left? I guess that's my birds.
Yeah, I think they're the only ones left.
That's my birds.
By the way, follow-up. It said the guys are laying down under the boards, under the cornhole board. That sounds dangerous.
Do you play cornhole, Sean?
I have cornhole boards, and I've been known to be pretty good for like a drunk dad. I'm pretty good for that, but I'm not competitive in some sort of league or anything.
I guess they get hit in the nuts. I guess would be the.
Okay.
That would be the gimmick.
I was bouncing around different definitions of all the terms he said. I got it.
Yep, that's what it would be. And I think, Biff knows.
Probably go to the hospital.
Yeah, that's usually how that game ends up. Look.
At one point, my brain went to the stupid cat from Shrek. I'm like, what is he talking about?
Look, here's the deal. Very simple. Seattle's going to run away with this game. This is not going to be close. Jason, you lived to breathe an extra week because the Eagles weren't that good. Congratulations. This is where it ends for the Niners. Seahawks cover, and I'll go over, because they're going to score a lot of points. The only chance the Niners have is Sam Darnold doing what he did in Week 18 and opening round last year. That's it. That's your only chance, and you need to have him do an epic bad Sam Darnold to have a chance in this one. I don't think it happens. All right, let's move to Sunday, 3:00 Eastern time. We'll try to move these a little quicker.
Yeah, I got you.
3:00 Eastern time on ESPN and ABC. It is the 13-5 Texans. They are traveling to 15-3 New England, a 3-point home favorite. Your over/under is 41. EJ.
So I know I was very braggadocious, about my AFC pick entering the playoffs. Texans win the we'll go into the Super Bowl rather. And look, prior to Nico Collins getting hurt, I was still feeling good about that. And then now Nico Collins, under concussion protocol. He's likely not to play for starters. Number one, it's a short week for the Texans.
Yeah,
that hurts his chances. And if he doesn't play, and you look at, it
looked
bad. Their offense looked really bad yesterday. It didn't look cohesive at all. That defense on the game from last night. And the problem is now with New England, you need all three phases to be effective. If he goes out this game, I may have to eat crow on my pick. Because the Pats are good. Look, they weren't that great against Chargers, but at the same time, they found a way to win the game. Now Nico plays the game. Now I'm gonna probably still stick my pick, but this is gonna be a Nico game time decision, pretty much. Having said that, though, because of the odds of him playing are probably low because of the short week, I'm gonna have to change my pick here and take the Pats. They're at home. The I don't know, man. I just think that's. To me, that's the be all end all of the game there because he plays the game. This is a different game. I'll take the Pats here, but the best bet is actually the over on this one.
All right, Sean.
Look, Nico or not, I mean, I gotta get my well-written joke in here that like the Steelers couldn't find a way to score. The Steelers and a lot of other people can't find a way to score against the Texans, but Drake may. How about that?
That was great.
He may find a way to score.
He not only rambled, but he rumbled and stumbled.
Yep, you thought I was. I zigged, then you thought I was going to. I zigged again. That's what happened there.
Yep.
Now look, everything you said is true. Without Nico Collins, the Texans' offense is not at all, what it is. But the truth is, when Nico plays, I understand the decoy elements there, but he's not having the kind of season that like fantasy owners would hope he has. And when he is out, you do have guys like Christian Kirk, and you have a band of rookies that all look pretty good. And let's not forget they have one of the best tight ends in the league down there. I think the passing game can survive. And I think it doesn't have to do much because I think that defense is one of these. If they don't win, it's going to get kind of buried in the shuffle. But they have what could be a historic defense if they do. So because you on the record jumped ship, I am going to hop on it. I'm going to take the Houston Texans to go into Foxborough and use defense as their muscle and probably have to score on defense, which they're not afraid to do. I think the Texans keep the Patriots' slow-moving offense from that Chargers game slow, and I don't think it picks up. Give me the Texans. Give me the under because they no one's going to score points. I just don't.
Nothing is over.
I don't think, and I know the Patriots have not seen a defense of this caliber all season, and Drake May has probably not seen one this good in his career. So I think that's the big –
student of the game Kyle Nash would confirm that.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and take what I know, and that's defense. Give me the Broncos versus the Texans in the AFC title game.
If I change my pick, wait, John. If I change my pick, would you go the other way again, Sean?
No, because I'll claim I had it first.
Good point.
Yeah, look, the smart play is the under because, if either the Texans offense isn't going to score or the Patriots aren't going to score, like it's going to be a low scoring affair. It really is. So I think that's the smart play. It's can Houston get Drake May in this offense to make mistakes, and make enough mistakes to make it really hurt, because I think the Texans offense is going to struggle again like it did last night. I think it's going to be close. I would not even be shocked to see the Texans cover the 3 points. I think that's how tight this game is going to be. I will take a slight Patriots cover, but I do think they ultimately win the game. I think the under is the play. Devin has the Texans and the under. So Devin's not bailing either. And last one, Sunday night, 6:30 Eastern time on NBC. It is the 13-5 Rams. They are a 3.5-point road favorite at the 12-6 Chicago Bears. Your over-under is 48.5. For the record, the weather on Sunday is supposed to be as Chicago as possible. Cold, chance of snow, windy, wind chills, possibly like -10.
That's insane.
And that's all Chicago's favor in there.
It is going to be a Chicago home game, gentlemen. But EJ, you go first.
People say, "Oh, well, it's never played in Detroit." Yeah, he played most road games in Chicago once in a while, but wasn't guaranteed it was in December or November. Sure, like January. This LA team's very finesse-like, at least on the offensive side. So that could be the chance that Chicago has to win the game. By the way, this Chicago team, I don't fucking get this Bears team. It's amazing. It's amazing how they can find ways to win games like this and continue even in the playoffs doing this shit. It's incredible. So now I'm forced to trust them a little now because the weather is a big factor in this. Mm-hmm. The Rams are a better team no matter how you slice it. But if what you're saying is true, is it snow too also? Snow and
snow earlier in the day that will probably clear up, but it's going to be cold and windy.
Oh, my God. And that can limit Stafford in the passing game, too, also. My God. If that shit's effective, I'll still take the Rams win the game. But, my God, I was looking at the Rams winning comfortably in a sense. But, no, that's going to be a close game here. I still like the Rams because again, they're probably the most balanced team left in the playoffs right now. But this could be easy. But I mean, the best bet though in this game, I'll still go over. You said 40.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll still go over. I mean, I think even with the elements, I think the
48.5. Is that what you said? I thought it was 51 on my sheet. Because
it's 50.5 on my sheet, on my other sheet too. Also.
That did change. I double checked them here at the.
Yeah, I also tip the Rams because they're the better team. But my God, the cardiac Bears are a real thing, man. It's so weird because to me, they are actually the worst of the 8 teams left in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Have you made a pick?
He did. EJ, thank you for listening to me when I said let's try to speed these last 2 up a little bit. Sean, go ahead.
All right, look, cold weather or not, like I get it. LA's not cold. Chicago is. Like you said, Matt Stafford has played in Detroit and has had to travel to Green Bay in the winter and Chicago in the winter. He's very aware of how cold it gets. Kyron Williams played in South Bend. Like, these are not kids that have never played in the snow or in the wind. Like, and if there's one thing I know about Sean McVay is that he's creative, whether he can go deep down the field or not. He's going to draw up very creative short passing plays. You have Devontae Adams, who runs great routes, and if the field's slippery at all, he's going to juke defenders out of their shoes. And so I think that there's a lot of things that still favor the Rams, despite the fact that you're right. On paper, it looks like it favors Chicago. If Matt Stafford doesn't have a deep ball, neither does Caleb Williams. So a comeback is far less possible. Give me the Rams to still control this game. Give me the Rams to cover the 3.5 points. I'm going to go with the better team, and I'm going to go with a more proven defense, though maybe not necessarily the best defense in this game. But, yeah, I'm going to take the under even at 48.5. I think the Rams just control the clock. You're going to see a lot more of Blake Corum, which is good for them. You're going to see a healthy mix of both running backs and tight ends, and I like that. I think the Rams move forward.
Yeah, Devin has Bears in the over. He said this might be the game to watch this weekend. I think this is probably going to be the most fun game viewing wise, and maybe the best game overall. I personally, I've been waiting for this game for weeks because there was a point earlier this year, EJ, where I don't remember which Bears game it was, but we were in our Huddle Up chat. We were like, man, are the Bears actually good? And I was like, yeah, they absolutely are. Then it became like, well, how good are they? Mm-hmm. And there was a point where you said that there was no chance they could beat the Rams in a postseason game. We have arrived at this moment. I have waited for this game since that moment. I didn't doubt them before. I am not doubting them now. Bears. Give me the Chicago Bears, cover the 3.5, and get the win at home. I think it is the under because they're gonna have to limit what the Rams do offensively. But absolutely, I think the Bears, and this is also why you earn the right to play at home, because I think that weather can be a factor. Yep, I get Stafford's played in these conditions and stuff. I get it. But you're still going to have a Chicago crowd in a wild environment in that weather.
I can assure you no fan from LA is flying to this game.
Absolutely not.
Like, first of all, the plane.
They barely traveled to Inglewood.
Yeah,
exactly. They barely have fans.
Like, we're going to go to Chicago. And then they look at the weather. They're like, we'll just go to the bar.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely not. I am not traveling east for this. So yeah, give me the Bears and give me the under. And
do you care to make a wager?
You probably get more Lions fans that are still Matt Stafford fans.
No, I'm not making a wager, EJ.
That would be funny.
Make a dinner bet?
No, I just like the fact that my bragging rights will win out next week, and that is how I roll.
Matt Stafford should just buy a whole section of tickets and just give it to Detroit Lions fans that want to come root against the Bears.
You bet t-shirt.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's look at the power rankings here with the 8 teams that are left. EJ, who are your top 8 remaining?
I haven't done this in a long time, actually. I just realized that. All right, top 8 teams. Here we go. 8 the Bears, 7 Niners, 6 Bills, 5 Broncos, 4 Patriots, 3 Rams, 2 Texans, 1 Seahawks.
All right. Excuse me. Mike has from 8 to 1 Bears, Niners, Texans, Bills, Rams, Patriots, Broncos, and Seahawks. Sean.
I've got the Niners bringing up the rear at number 8, the Bills at 7, Bears at 6, Texans 5, Broncos 4, Rams at 3, and then the Patriots and Seahawks rounding out the top 2.
And for me, I have Niners at the bottom, Texans, Bills, Rams, Bears, Patriots, Broncos, and Seahawks. They were my top 2 last week. They don't move by not playing. I'm not the college football playoff committee.
You're still bitter, aren't you?
Yeah, I will always be bitter. I'm still bitter about 93, except we're now national champions in 93.
Hey, listen, even I told you 93 was you guys got hosed, and I benefited from that. So
yeah. Well, again, I was fine not having that national championship, but since wins and head-to-head matchups matter with ACC teams, then national champs. EJ, since you haven't been here for a while, what's
you missed me.
What sticks out to you most on any of these lists?
Well, one thing I will say, other than your Texans at 7, well, and never mind, Mike is 6 too. Also, I was going to say that the bottom 3 is almost similar. Bears and Niners most part, but then you have the Texans at 7. But obviously, Seattle number 1 across the board. We all agree with that one.
Yeah.
For Jim's, I think Jim's list is a lot more interesting in the sense that there's a lot more teams. Like the Bears are 4. It's like, wow, you really are a believer in the Bears, aren't you?
I mean, look, I had the Bears at 7 last week, so I had the Eagles above them, the Jags above them, and the Rams above them. So really, the only team that dropped below them was the Rams, and that was because, I mean, the Rams struggled to beat a sub 500 Carolina team. And the Bears, I get the first half looked bad, but the Bears did what the Bears do, and they came alive in the second half. They made adjustments. The adults coached, and the adults do what the adults do in that room, and they turned it around and got the win. So yeah, I still believe in the Bears. They've told us all year this is who they are. And I'm going to believe them until the end.
Yeah. Other than that, Sean's list fairly static. Mike's list same. And yeah, so that was the only thing I saw. Your list is very interesting, to be honest with you, because you have Texans at 7. Is that more because of Nico, or you still trust the Texans?
Nico doesn't help. The offense doesn't help. Like I get the defense looks great. But you know, they struggled to put away a bad Steelers team. And I get it was on the road, but they're going to be on the road again this week, man, against a better team. So I just they obviously improved from year start to year end, but with the inconsistencies on offense and now the injury to Nico, I don't think it bodes well for Houston. Sean, what sticks out to you on anybody's list?
Well, I mean, with EJ's, I find it very surprising that there's 2 people that have the Bears so low. And I know they're at 6 on mine, but that has more to do with who I felt had outkicked their coverage and kind of moved ahead of them. I had the Bears at 7 last week. A couple teams ahead of them lost. Probably should have moved up to like 5, but I jumped the Texans over them because, man, I love defense. I just kind of clung to that. I'm kind of shocked, EJ, looking back at the picks you just made, that you chose the Bears. I know it's going to be windy and cold, but
no, I thought the Rams would win.
Yeah, he
eventually took the Rams to win. Okay,
He
it was
did.
hard to
I took
really
the Rams
tell.
though, but I said it'd be a lot
Back
close.
and forth nonsense.
I had the Rams initially winning comfortably, and then the weather factor.
So now they're winning in a close game. Okay, I guess that's
because of
fine.
weather. Yeah.
But man, I guess I'm not super surprised. It was everywhere, man. It was like that Lou Holtz. It was like just insane. I had no idea.
Fuck you, Jim.
I had no idea. That's what I heard while EJ was trying to speed through his Chicago
Me too.
pick.
I heard the same thing too.
But
buddy.
yeah, I guess not. Because you and Mike have weirdly similar lists, which is very unlike the two of you.
Oh,
that is strange.
You know, I feel like Mike's a little higher on Mike being a little higher on the Bills than everyone else, but I guess that's fine if you love Josh Allen. I think we're all pretty much on the same page. I think EJ, I think you're a little high on the Texans, even with me.
I am. I'm not
gonna lie.
And I'll admit my biasness of the Super Bowl is probably playing a lot into that. So
I was gonna say you made a prediction, you made a call, and now you're trying to like sell it to the world. I get that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's not realistic that they would be 2 at all in any semblance. Like, I mean, it's like best defense, worst offense. That rounds out to 2. Oh, I do love defense. That's fine, EJ. You're good.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, besides the Texans at 2, I mean, you had them at 7, so you jumped them over the Broncos, the Patriots, and the Rams, which I don't mind you jumping them over the Rams, for the record. Anybody wants to punish the Rams for what happened last week, again, I punished them big time. I had them at 3 last week, so punishing the Rams I'm fine with. I just I mean, I get it. The Texans defense came alive, but again, it was also the festering corpse of Aaron Rodgers and that Steelers offense that helped that along.
Yeah.
Festering corpse. Man,
Sills jumped.
I will say this. I don't know. I have a coworker who's a huge Jets fan, and my heart always goes out to him. And all Jets fans that are loyal.
Listen, he made a choice. He can leave that team until he wants to. You choose to stay with that team, that's on you, brother.
I mean, you can't though. Like, I mean,
you can't what? You can't what? What rules there say you can't change teams if a team's not doing the right things to better themselves?
Well, because there's a term for that. I think they call it an EJ.
I don't do that. Well, I don't do that. I don't do that at all, Sean.
Right. I mean, like, why wouldn't you have just like you've never abandoned the Mets for all of their failures?
No,
you've never
because I made a decision
for all of their failure. I mean, that's
I made a decision to do that, and I stick with my team, and because I choose to. But we have choices.
That's what this Jets fan does. Like, because they are a good and loyal fan. But my
don't
point
complain about it. That's all.
They're not complaining. I said
not
my
you.
heart.
No, not
my
you.
Heart goes out. You just stop interrupting me. Jesus Christ!
What? Sorry,
but we were talking today. Speaking of the festering corpse that is the Pittsburgh Steelers, I said how perfect, how happy are you that the final pass likely of Aaron Rodgers' career is a pick 6, and he sent me a laughing gif in response. He is very happy that Aaron Rodgers goes out looking awful, and many of us do. Many of us feel that way. Let's see. Dan in the comments here says, "I'm going to be hard pressed to root for any of these teams moving forward." I mean, I can kind of get that, but I am happy with the fact that hopefully after this weekend, when not if the Niners get eliminated, I can be happy with no matter who wins. It's going to be a carefree playoff for me after this, hopefully after this weekend. But any other thoughts on the power rankings?
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting you, Jim. I apologize.
Okay. It's all right.
We'll hug it out. We can hug it later.
We'll hug it out. We'll hug it out later.
Okay.
Next
cool.
time we see
all
each
right,
other, we'll hug it out.
Okay.
All right. Let's close up the show as only we can do.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right. We look ahead to the week that will be, and we tell one thing that will happen this upcoming week. Sean, what's going to happen this week?
There's far less games to get creative with. This is very frustrating. I'm not going to lie to you. All right, it almost worked betting against them last time. Let's do it again. This one's going to be a much harder projection to do. Zach Charbonnet of the Seattle Seahawks, and this is just going to rub it farther into the just under the nails of Jason over here in the comments. But Zach Charbonnet will have more total yards and I'll just stop there. I was going to say and more touchdowns. He will have more total yards than Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. All right.
That's what I'm going with. That will happen this week.
All right.
I like that. Similar, not the one I'm going to use. I had written down I want to make sure Jason hears it. The Broncos defense score more touchdowns than the 49ers offense was what I had written down. But EJ,
I would do that for the that'd be a good one. Texans defense.
Well, I have the Texans losing, so I can't go that way.
You can't have that as a projection, but I like
EJ,
that.
What will happen this weekend?
Parity will continue this weekend. All 4 games will be 1-score games.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, that's a little better. I thought you were just going with a general parody.
Yeah.
Like, NFL will be fun. Oh, come on.
Way to go out on a limb there, bud.
Way to be bold, EJ. Way to be bold.
Oh, yeah.
And mine, and maybe it's hope, maybe it's reality. We'll find out. Mendoza will throw for 4+ touchdowns en route to a college football playoff national championship MVP in a convincing walk-away victory against Miami to complete the 16-0 season. Perfect season for the Indiana Hoosiers.
Lock it up.
4+. Go Hoosiers.
More passing touchdowns than the Niners and Seahawks.
Let me just say
Indiana. Indiana might have more
Patriots. You might get more touchdowns.
You might. I've been on the show a lot this year, but it's sick. It's actually sick to admit this, but it wasn't until last week against Oregon that it hit me that, my God, this team's fucking amazing. Like, I was still on the fence. Like, even if Ohio State, I'm like, well, Ohio State play again and they win that game. They beat Bama. Okay, was it more about Bama being bad or that good?
Right.
And last week, I was like, oh, then it hit me last week. I was like, oh, fuck, this team's really good.
The wildest part, and I kept seeing the picture getting shared because I know too many people who are Penn State fans. Like, they were, remember that toe down touchdown catch at Happy Valley? They were that close to losing a game.
Yeah.
Penn State had the closest game against Indiana. What happens?
That's true.
But yeah, Indiana, they're doing bad things to a lot of teams, man. They're clicking. NIL works, folks. NIL works. Devin says 49ers will win in advance to the conference championship. Gut feeling they're going to have home field advantage.
Not shock me.
He thinks they're going all the way to the Super Bowl. Devin,
I get that storyline's there, and I understand that Miami just did it. So, yes, there's a part of you in the back of your head, and it's in mine too. That's like San Francisco's also going to play a home game. But, man, I mean, just look at the roster, man.
Oh, like, Devin's going with the that it's almost like predetermined. Devin, this ain't pro wrestling, buddy.
They put the color scheme in there because it's in that team. It's whatever. They did it because it was the Chiefs and they stank. So now it's like, maybe it was the 49ers.
If that shit happens, go ahead and build a statue of Kyle Shanahan outside of Santa Clara.
If the 49ers get to the Super Bowl, by all means, just win it. I go for it, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah,
but hey, keep dreaming the dream. Keep dreaming the dream.
Yeah,
Sean, let them know where they can follow you.
Well, you can follow me very easily because the car's not working super well. Driving a little slower. But if you mean online, you can follow me on the Twitter at Sean Shine State. I've been posting some pretty good links, some pretty funny photos, trying to learn how Twitter works instead of just typing what I want to say. So we're starting to get there. So go ahead and follow me there. Otherwise, just follow me to the closest bar on NFL Sunday, and we'll see you there.
All right, EJ, let them know.
I'm on EJ on Twitter. I'm on X or Twitter. We'll call it at EJ7 on Twitter. I will host the Earth Week podcast. Of course, any podcast catcher. Find it on YouTube at Earth Week Pod, TikTok Earth Week Pod, Instagram same handle, and Instagram as well too. So, and also I've been gone a couple of weeks, man, but I'm happy back.
There you go. Good to have you back, EJ.
It was good to see you.
We love you. Devin, thanks for checking in, bud. You can follow me at Big Jim Sports on Blue Sky and Twitter. But most importantly, follow along with the show, Huddle Up Podcast on our social media channels, YouTube especially. We've been doing great over there. We love the support, love the interaction. Scan the QR code top right corner of your screen on the video side right now. That'll get you to our link tree. Everything Huddle Up related is there. Grab our merch over on the T Public Store. only a couple of weeks left until we pack it away for the off season. But we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week. Stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the win.